1898, two physiologists in Stockholm, Robert Tigerstedt and Per Bergman, were not trying to understand the heart. They were studying the kidneys. In a now famous experiment, they prepared a saline extract from a rabbit's kidney and injected it into a different, healthy rabbit. They weren't expecting much, but what they saw was a sudden, dramatic, and sustained rise in the rabbit's blood pressure. They had stumbled upon a powerful chemical messenger. They named it renin, from the Latin renes, for kidney. This was the first concrete evidence that the kidney, an organ we associate with filtering waste, was also a powerful hormone factory, capable of commanding the entire circulatory system. For decades, renin remains something of a biological curiosity. How did this one substance exert so much control? It turns out renin doesn't act directly. It's the starter pistol for a complex chemical relay race. Renin is an enzyme, a molecular pair of scissors that circulates in the blood. Its sole purpose is to find a specific protein produced by the liver called angiotensin. When renin finds it, it clips off a piece, creating a smaller 10 amino acid peptide called angiotensin 1. At this stage, the message is written, but the envelope is still sealed. Angiotensin 1 is mostly inactive, a precursor molecule floating through your veins, waiting for the next step of the journey. The next stop in the relay is not what you might expect. The activation doesn't happen in the heart or the brain, but in the lungs. As blood-carrying angiotensin 1 flows through the massive branching network of capillaries in your lungs, it encounters a second enzyme. This one is called angiotensin converting enzyme, or ACE. ACE is incredibly efficient, lining the walls of these tiny vessels. It snips off 2 more amino acids from angiotensin 1, instantly converting it into its final, powerfully active form, angiotensin 2. Think about that. The kidney detects a problem, the liver provides the raw material, and the lungs perform the final activation. It's a system of communication that relies on the precise geography of your torso. Once formed, angiotensin 2 is one of the most potent vasoconstrictors in the human body. It immediately gets to work, binding to receptors on the smooth muscle cells that line your arteries and veins. The message it delivers is simple: squeeze. All over your body, blood vessels narrow, reducing the total volume of the system and forcing blood pressure to rise. This is the direct effect that Tigerstedt and Bergman observed. But the conversation doesn't end there. Angiotensin 2 also travels to the 2 small glands sitting atop your kidneys, the adrenal glands. There, it delivers another message, triggering the release of a completely different hormone called aldosterone. Aldosterone's job is to talk back to the organ that started it all, the kidney. Its signal tells the kidney's intricate filtering tubules to increase the reabsorption of sodium. Instead of letting salt leave the body in urine, it's pulled back into the bloodstream. And where sodium goes, due to osmosis, water inevitably follows. Your blood volume physically increases. So now you have 2 effects working in concert: narrower pipes and more fluid being pushed through them. The result is a powerful, sustained increase in blood pressure. This entire feedback loop, the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, is how your body ensures your brain gets enough blood when you stand up, or how it responds to dehydration. This elegant system of control can become the source of chronic disease. Imagine if the artery supplying blood to one of your kidneys becomes narrowed, a condition called renal artery stenosis. The kidney downstream of the narrowing senses a drop in pressure. It doesn't know the problem is local. It assumes the entire body's blood pressure is dangerously low. So it does its job. It screams for more pressure by dumping massive amounts of renin into the blood. the RAAS goes into overdrive, constricting vessels and retaining fluid, driving systemic blood pressure dangerously high. The heart is now forced to pump against an immense, artificially generated resistance every second of every day. It's a system designed for survival, turning against itself. The damage is more intimate than just mechanical strain. Angiotensin II doesn't just talk to blood vessels. It talks directly to the cells of the heart muscle. In a state of chronic excess, it promotes pathological changes. It encourages fibrosis, the growth of stiff, non-contractile scar tissue within the heart muscle. It also causes hypertrophy, where the individual heart muscle cells grow larger, making the heart wall thick, bulky, and inefficient. This process is called cardiac remodeling. The heart is physically changing its architecture for the worse, becoming less able to fill with blood and less able to pump effectively, all in response to chemical signals originating from the kidney. All of this dismantles the simple idea of organs as isolated specialists. The kidney is not just a filter, and the heart is not just a pump. They are nodes in a deeply interconnected communication network, constantly sending and receiving messages that determine the state of the whole organism. The language they speak is chemical, carried by the very fluid they work together to manage. The discovery that began with a simple rabbit experiment completely redefined our map of the body. It revealed that we are not a collection of independent parts in a box, but a society of organs whose health is fundamentally collective. Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.